So as you guys know, the NFL offseason has been absolutely crazy. And this past week, it just got even crazier. There is a lot going on in the NFL. As you guys see, I have my OG Atlanta Falcons Roddy White jersey. But of course, before I get into this video, make sure to like, subscribe, turn the notification bell. You guys help me out a little bit. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, you guys already know the first trade I have to talk about. Deshaun Watson going to the Cleveland Browns. This is a huge trade. The Texans are going to receive 3 first-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick, while Cleveland, of course, will get Deshaun Watson and a 5th-round pick. Now, there are a lot of notes included in this trade. Cleveland traded an absolute ton of assets trying to invest into Deshaun Watson. Just 3 days ago, it looked like Deshaun Watson was bound for Atlanta. Everybody thought Deshaun Watson's going to the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are going to have their guy for the future. Well, unexpectedly, Deshaun Watson, I guess, changed his mind, waived his no-trade clause, and now he is joining the Cleveland Browns. Of course, he also signed a 5-year, fully guaranteed $230 million deal, making him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league again. And of course, he will be in Cleveland for a very, very long time, along with wide receiver Amari Cooper, who was just traded from Dallas last week. And there's also interest in Jarvis Landry going back. So it looks like Deshaun Watson's going to have a lot to work with in Cleveland. And also, this might be a top 5 offense. You also have Nick Chubb in the backfield. There is a lot of weapons Deshaun Watson can go to in this new Browns offense. This also means Baker Mayfield is probably guaranteed to be traded, but we all really expected that. He requested a trade a couple of days ago. Deshaun Watson is going to be the Browns' new guy, and as an Atlanta Falcons fan, this absolutely broke my heart. This was horrible to see as a Falcons fan. However, from a Deshaun Watson fan perspective, I'm glad that he got the deal done. I'm glad he got out of the rough situation in Houston, to say the least, and I think the Cleveland Browns can look forward to a very, very great season with Deshaun Watson as their starter. Now, for another crazy trade, something else unexpected, Devonta Adams was actually traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders got Devonta Adams, while the Packers got a 2022 first and second round pick. Now, of course, Adams also signed a 5-year, $141 million contract. This makes him the highest paid wide receiver, not only in the league, but in NFL history, with over $28 million a year. Safe to say this was very unexpected, especially after Aaron Rodgers became the highest paid player of all time with the Green Bay Packers just a couple of days ago, if not a week ago. However, going back to Adams, he is reunited with his college quarterback in Derek Carr, a guy who really helped him out in college, a guy who really fed off each other, to be honest, out in Fresno State. I'm really glad these two are back together. I'm excited to see what they can do in the AFC West. Speaking of the AFC West, it's going to be a shootout next season. You have the Chiefs, you have the Raiders, you have the absolutely crazy looking, defensively stacked, ridiculous Chargers, and you also have the Broncos, who just acquired Russell Wilson. The AFC West is going to be absolutely ridiculous this year, and Derek Carr, I think he has the chance to have an amazing season. The Raiders already had a very, very solid receiving core with Darren Waller, and of course you also had a whole bunch of other players. You had Josh Jacobs in the backfield, for example. You also had Hunter Renfrow, a guy who I meant to say before. So you have a lot of weapons in this brand new offense for the Raiders. I'm glad they got this deal done. I think the Raiders can look forward to having a great season. Now, going to a deal that is going to be looked down upon a little bit. However, JuJu SmithSchuster signing with the Kansas City Chiefs is something we're talking about. Patrick Mahomes, of course, now has another weapon. Hill, Kelsey, and Schuster, they look like a very, very great trio. And despite all the TikTok jokes, I know everybody's saying it, without further ado, this can be a very, very dangerous lineup stacked in the AFC West division. Once again, the AFC West is going to be very, very interesting. I'm very, very interested to see how JuJu SmithSchuster is going to be in the Kansas City offense. Of course, he didn't quite work out in the last 2 years in the Pittsburgh offense, along with Big Ben, a guy who was, let's just say it, he was on his last legs. Didn't really work out in Pittsburgh over the last few years, but we know what this guy's capable of. He had a 1,000-yard season just a couple of seasons ago. JuJu SmithSchuster, when he's focused, and also with the fact that he has Travis Kelsey and Tyreek Hill to work with, and maybe you can line him up in the slot, the other outside receiver. I think JuJu SmithSchuster is in for a great season, and I think Patrick Mahomes, along with that Chiefs offense, is going to find a way to really get the most use out of this new wide receiver and this new weapon for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, another trade that I think is honestly underrated, I'm going to get more into that later. Robert Woods has been traded to the Tennessee Titans. Of course, the Rams get a 6th round pick in favor for the Titans, who get Robert Woods. Now, of course, the Rams have Odell they need to re-sign. They have Cooper Kupp. They have Van Jefferson. So this move kind of made sense. Of course, despite all the people being sort of upset that Robert Woods, a guy who's been with the Rams for a very, very long time, is gone, I do think this move makes a lot of sense. Robert Woods is also coming off of an ACL injury, and I think this is honestly an underrated trade. Of course, Robert Woods was a 1,000-plus yard caliber receiver. He still is a 1,000-plus yard caliber receiver, and in my opinion, he's going to be a very underrated weapon in a Tennessee offense that's already stacked. Absolutely stacked. I mean, you have Derrick Henry coming back. You have a very, very solid quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. We don't know if Julio Jones is going to come back. He was released, but the Titans could bring him in on a new contract. Without further ado, though, Robert Woods is a great weapon. If he heals from that ACL injury as well as we are expecting him to, then I think he would definitely add another wrinkle to this already stacked Tennessee Titans offense. Now, going next to the news, Matthew Stafford is in Los Angeles to stay. He signed a 4-year, $160 million contract extension with the LA Rams. It looks like Matt Stafford is going to end his career in LA, and honestly, we're not going to blame him. This overall is not surprising. The Rams just won the Super Bowl, and they should be more than competitive for the upcoming seasons. I'm really, really glad Matthew Stafford has finally found himself a home because, boy, I'm a Georgia fan, and I had to go through the trouble of watching Matthew Stafford absolutely struggle with that Detroit Lions organization for so many years. And to know that he not only has a Super Bowl ring, but he's in position to possibly get more and more as the years go on with the LA Rams. I'm excited to see what the Rams can do in year 2, and I'm really, really glad Matthew Stafford and the Rams got this deal done. Now, going to our last transaction of the video, we have the Bengals landing La'el Collins. Collins signed a 3-year contract with the Bengals just today, and the Bengals desperately needed an offensive line after watching Joe Burrow get sacked 50 times this season. La'el Collins is a great tackle. Of course, previously played for the Cowboys. He would do great in the blocking game, especially in the running and passing game department. Joe Burrow, he needed protection desperately. We saw that in the Super Bowl. We saw it in the playoffs. Heck, we even saw it in the regular season. He fortunately did not get injured, but we all do know that ACL injury that happened in his rookie season. Not to be the bearer of bad news, but if the Bengals did not upgrade this offensive line, this could have been a potentially very short career for Joe Burrow. However, it's good to see the Bengals caring about their quarterback. They also got Ted Karras and Alex Kappa, so it seems like the Bengals are very, very, very invested in trying to protect Joe Burrow and also trying to get to another Super Bowl. If you didn't watch the last play of that Super Bowl, where Joe Burrow had a absolutely wide open wide receiver that he couldn't see because his offensive line straight sold out on him. I'm not even going to lie. Jamar Chase was wide open near the end zone on the last play, the last Bengals offensive play in the Super Bowl this season. And yeah, there's been a lot of speculation going on about that play. Either way, getting back to the main topic, I'm really glad the Bengals are bolstering up their offensive line. Shows a lot of respect for the quarterback they have. And Joe Burrow should be smiling with his huge grin on his face. He's getting a way better offensive line. I'm really excited to see what Joe Burrow can do with some protection back there. But without further ado, that's going to end this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe. Of course, TikTok, Spotify, Instagram, follow all of those up for me. Without further ado, though, whether you follow or not, make sure you stay loved, stay blessed. Without further ado, I'm going to end this video. This has been a very exciting NFL offseason. Madden's going to look great and a lot different next year. So without further ado, I'm going to end this video. You guys, thank you for watching.
Like a Lord of funky man that lack finesse. Wanna be rappers brag about already being the best. I respect many people for the job they've done. Haters full of jealousy is what I like especially. I like a Lord of funky man that lack finesse. Wanna be rappers brag about already being the best. I respect many people for the job.